on guys, Gemma here and back again for another video, and today something magical is about to happen because in 2018 the Sega Mega Drive game was developed and released. And you're probably thinking, what? 2018 is all about the PC, the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Well, you are wrong, because right here is a press build of a game called Tanglewood by Big Evil Corp, and it has been in development for I believe around 5 years, and it was actually the result of a Kickstarter program that I think generated within the vicinity of £54,000 to create. Now before we dive into this, I have a little disclaimer I need you guys to seriously listen to before we dive into the review. I was asked to review this on original hardware, and I did play Tanglewood on my Sega Mega Drive, Model 1 and Model 2, but unfortunately Tanglewood didn't do very well on my 4K television, it didn't do well on my 1080p television with the RF cable, the AV cable, 2 Mega Drive ones, and then I believe I already said the Mega Drive 2, and it got me feeling a little bit concerned because I didn't feel I'd be able to do Tanglewood any justice in terms of its graphical beauty. So, in the nature of transparency, oh and by the way, just put the brakes on there, I did send this short clip over to Matt. He was the one and only developer of Tanglewood, the brains behind Tanglewood, in an effort to try and get some help. So here's the clip. As you can see, a lot of the colours, a lot of the pixels, a lot of the sprites bleed into the screen, and it becomes very, very flickery, jittery, and very, very difficult to play. And it's certainly easy to kind of miss the beauty. So I did the review on my Retron 5. I had to hook it up to my Retron 5 because it was either don't review it or think of another solution, and I kind of figured that Tanglewood deserves some serious press and I wanted to give it another go. So I played with zero filter, I put the scan lines on the Retron, but unfortunately I just could not get it to work, like just to look the way it should have looked. I even tried another Sega Mega Drive game to see if it was my Mega Drives or my TV or the cables, and the other Mega Drive games played as you would expect. You know, the sprites were clear, there was no bleeding, there was the odd glitch which you would expect from a console that's, you know, pushing 25 years old. So yeah, well, it's over 25 years. So I just want to be transparent with you guys. And Matt did say that a lot of people had that issue with this press build, that unfortunately the bigger TVs just couldn't handle it, and a solution to that, if you didn't want to go down the Retron route, is to buy a SCART cable or use a CRT TV, which unfortunately I don't have. So, Tanglewood, we've got that bit out of the way. Tanglewood is a beautiful new game, and you play the role of a fox-like being, and you literally kind of start the game, you just wake up, and before you wake up there's this huge kind of shadow figure that flies in and looks over Nymn, which is our protagonist, a fox-like gorgeous creature, and then Nymn just wakes up. Now Nymn doesn't have a voice, you literally communicate with him via his actions and I guess your perceptions, and that right off the bat there is something that I really, really like. There's absolutely no dialogue, which I love because I think that sometimes dialogue can really, you know, I tend to find myself skipping it. So it's a really, really kind of nice start into the game. The menu system before you dive into that is really easy. You can start a new game, you can continue, and what I mean by continue is you can utilise the password system to pick up where you left off, and there's a sounds test, and then there's your options. So in terms of 16-bit goodness, it really does boast everything that you can kind of familiarise yourself with from back in the day. You know, the sound test screen, like how many people went through a sound test? I know I did, every single sound effect on Streets of Rage 2, for example. So for me, there's a massive amount of authenticity. Now, Tanglewood was also developed on original 16-bit, like Sega Mega Drive hardware. This was developed from the ground up in the exact same way games were developed back in the 90s, the mid-90s, right the way through to the late 90s. So Matt's done an absolutely phenomenal job. He really, really has. you can see how much effort and you can kind of feel how much beauty has gone into this game, and I think the fact that it was developed on original hardware really adds value. Now, had Tanglewood have been released on the Nintendo Switch, I don't think it would be as magic. For me, as a gamer that grew up in the bulk of the 16-bit era, I firmly enjoyed sitting down in that corner right behind the camera where I've been testing this thing all week, and I just loved getting back into my childhood, knowing that this was an absolute Sega Mega Drive game built on absolute amazing original developer hardware kits by somebody who, like me, grew up in the 16-bit era. Now, I was fortunate enough to interview Matt, and I will link my interview with him for my website. There's a car outside, it's hugely noisy. I will link it in the first link in the description, so go and read what Matt had to say about, you know, some of the behind the scenes stuff really with Tanglewood. Now, what does the game actually play like? Well, let's talk about what the game actually looks like, because this for me was something that kind of got me down. I mean, I know a lot of you guys out there have been playing it on original hardware and it does work, but for me, unfortunately, I don't have a CRT TV, which is crap. I really need to get one. But the game looks absolutely stunning. Sprite for sprite. And it doesn't just look stunning, it's complemented with sounds that transition in at the exact right time, so it's a very timely manner. And the only thing that you can hear as you're running, like, because you're running through trees, you're kind of jumping from branch to branch. It's a puzzle kind of action game, like, you know, it's just full of action, full of different puzzles. You can be lost from time to time, but the game looks absolutely gorgeous. There's a beautiful background as well that does often change colour when you transition from one to the next level, and with that the music would often change as well. Now, the music doesn't play continuously, it comes in, like I said, at timely manners. So if, for example, you meet not a boss as such, but like an enemy, and he's chasing you, this big gnarly kind of dog with kind of blood and saliva dripping from his teeth, you know, the music will come on to mimic exactly what is happening, and then when that is over, the music drops. But it's really soft music, it's really nice, and it really encapsulates, you know, the magic, I think, of Tanglewood. Now, the aim of the game is I originally called them like fluff balls, but doing more research into this, they're actually called fuzzles. So you've got Nymn, you've got your environment, and then you have to kind of find the fuzzle for this particular area or this particular level that you're on, and your job is to then move that fuzzle, which just looks like a coloured fluff ball with some eyes and makes really cute noises. You put the fuzzle, or you move the fuzzle, you navigate the fuzzle into a light source, and from there you can transform Nymn, our protagonist, into something completely different, and he will get a new power. So, for example, without spoiling it too much, there's lots of different coloured fuzzles with lots of different powers associated with them. The first one you get is a flying power, which turns Nymn into, like, you know, like yellow Sonic almost, it reminded me of, and that gives you the ability to fly. So you've got a tree branch here and a tree branch here. A normal jump wouldn't cut it, but with that particular ability, it allows you to make that jump, thus moving through the levels more and more and more. So once you've done that, you can kind of go on to the next stage, and again, there's no loading screens, it just transitions from one bit to the next bit. And another thing that I really love about the presentation of Tanglewood is there's no HUD. You're not over encumbered with a score, you're not over encumbered with lives, you don't have to, you know, collect rings, which I'm not belittling Sonic by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just simplicity that works. The whole nothing about Tanglewood, it, like, for me, was a bad experience. There were some flaws, which I'll talk about, but nothing. Like, I was engrossed and I laughed. And I was like, wow, this provides challenge, you know. I went through, like, Jess was like, what are you shouting at? And I'm like, I just died again. But it was so much fun because I really enjoyed bouncing straight back into the environment and getting stuck in. So another really cool, small, intricate detail, but important detail to Tanglewood are the kind of like little light orbs, which for me look like flickering flames on a candle that don't have a candle as such, but they're just flying around the environment. There's actually a lot of those things flying around, like leaves and various other things, but you need to keep a lookout for these light orbs, these, you know, runaway flames, whatever they are, because they literally light the way and let you know that you're going in the right direction, because at times a lot of the environment does look very similar, and you think, you know, where am I going? Have I been here? But if you jump, say, from one platform to another and you see a light orb, and you know, you will collect it if you jump that way, you know you're going in the right way. And I think, wow, an intricate detail that adds quite an important layer to the game to let the player know that they're on the right track. Absolutely, absolutely wicked. Now, when you die, again, there's no lives, there's no continues, you just start from a checkpoint, and a checkpoint looks like a kind of stone bear that when walked through lights up and just gives this really nice ambient glow, and you'll start from there and then you can just continue on. And again, I really like that. I love the fact that when you leave Nymn, so you kind of go make a cup of tea or a coffee, come back, there's that kind of sleeping animation, like, you know, when Sonic used to tap his foot, you know, Nymn just falls asleep. Like, he's just so chilled out, he's just so cute. And you really do feel a connection with the character, because for me, I absolutely love animals, I love cats, I love dogs, I love wolves, I love bears, you know, and like, he just looks so cute. He really kind of taps into that super cute, I guess, kind of really girly side of me. I'm not girly by any stretch of the imagination, but that's like my sensitive point. So Tanglewood, Matthew, Mats, whatever you want to like call yourself by, you have done a fantastic job at bringing a remarkable game to this fantastic console, and from me, and I hope on behalf of the gaming community, thank you very much for the perseverance. I can't imagine what you've been through, but I know that Kotaku, I know that Metro, they've given you fantastic reviews, and I think a lot of YouTubers like myself will also realise the beauty of this new Mega Drive game, Tanglewood. So before we conclude then, another little detail that I just want to draw your attention to are the springs and the foxholes. So the springs look like little mushrooms that give you that, you know, ability to jump as if you're, you know, like, imagine like a spring in a Sonic level. And then there's the foxholes which you can jump down. You literally can jump into a branch and it kind of propels you out onto a very, very high branch or a high ledge. It's quite easy to navigate around using those, and sometimes you have to utilise those foxholes with the fuzzles. Now, as a slight flaw, there was some times when the fuzzle animation, you'd put your fuzzle into the foxhole and you would see it propel out, and then there were times when you put the fuzzle into the hole and you wouldn't see it propel out, but by the time you went up, the fuzzle was there. So few little glitches, but that's absolutely fine. I don't care. This is a 16-bit console. 16-bit consoles have glitches. We had to blow these cartridges, kids. Get it out. We had to blow these cartridges sometimes before they even worked. So the struggle is real. There's so much, even the glitches legitimize Tanglewood. Like, I don't care that there's glitches. It wouldn't be a Mega Drive game if it was glitch free. So thank you, Matt. But seriously, if you want to buy this game, I will also link Matt's website down in the description, where you can get it on Steam already, and you can buy an official release on a Sega, like an actual Sega Mega Drive cartridge, instruction manual, and the case, as you would back in the day. I will link it because they are for pre-order on Matt's website. So there we go. I hope I've sold you on Tanglewood, and I'm sorry to Matt that I had to step over to the dreaded Retron to really understand the beauty of Tanglewood and hopefully get the most out of it for this review. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope you hit that subscribe button, leave a massive thumbs up, and share this video if you feel generous. But thank you very much for watching. My name is Gemma. Take care. See you in the next one.